What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling fantastic, feeling amazing, feeling ready to just bring some beauty, bring in some harmony, bring in some balance into your world. The moon is in Libra, Venus is in Libra. It's gonna be a great old time. We're gonna be kicking it with the Empress, but we'll get into that here in a little bit because Mars is gonna be Mars trying to rain on everybody's parade. Just moving into Cancer. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But before we jump into that, if you're new here, my name is Justin, and know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And there's also a place for those of you who have Cancer in your placement. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, wherever. This one's for you. Or if you just want to sync up with the moon, get on a regular lunar routine. You love Cancerians. You just want to kick. I mean, how can you not? I get it. This is for you too. And I do tarot cards, friends, based on our ruler here, the good old moon. I'll talk about what sign she's in. I just feel real hyped up about her. I talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going to avoid. Of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Yes, I hope you all are feeling great, because I mean it's well, first of all, just know your space has been cleansed. Crystals, they're feeling lovely. Maybe I'll actually wait to do that when we switch over from here on out. Just great energy all around here. Insights coming in, cool ideas, and it's a perfect day for ideas, because depending on when you're watching this, happy Mercury Day. Mercury is associated with Wednesdays. And this could be a great day for, if you do find yourself come up with a bunch of ideas, write them bad boys down. Write them down, manifest them. Set aside and figure out a game plan. Mercury's in Virgo right now. Mercury is strong in domicile and in exaltation in Virgo. Mercury couldn't be more celebrated than Mercury wants to let everyone know, like, when it's in Virgo, this is a big deal. No other planet is doing like Mercury does it. Mercury does the most. Maybe the moon. But this could be a great day for, as you see, communication. Just if you just want to get chatting it up, just talking away. My moon's in Gemini, so there it is. But this could be great for catching up with your friends. Maybe you want to do some reading. Maybe you want to do some studying. Maybe you want to learn a language. This could be great for maybe hosting a conference. If you got some sort of big presentation, maybe you want to schedule on a Jupiter day during a Mercury hour and really kind of deliver it, work with those energies. And I like to take these days to think about, okay, where do I have Mercury natally? How is it being witnessed right now? Are there any sort of, like, what are the aspects that are looking? I work with, like, kind of by whole signs. So it's like, what are some things that are looking like? How have I been relating with my Mercury here as of late? How have I been underworking it, overworking it, or has things been just about where I've been feeling it? I think overall I've been maybe a little over, just like a hair over, but not any way you think it's not like this Virgo that I know that's like way over here. So yes, and it can be really great too for just checking in with how you're talking, how you're communicating with yourself. I would check in with that to make sure you're not being too harsh on yourself, especially with, I feel like, with Mercury being in Virgo. That's something to pay attention to. Now, before we get into the lunar shenanigans, I do want to say Mars is getting ready to enter into Cancer, and this is going to be happening at 12:46 p.m., and that's Pacific time. And so syncing up with the moon is going to be important during this time, because Mars is what energizes us. And when you're under the lordship of the moon, things are changing constantly. If you don't have your sun in Cancer, or any kind of strong placements in Cancer, it's a doozy. But you've experienced when planets have transited through Cancer. These are the times where you get to experience what it's like to have it, like, all of the time. So, in Mars, something to think about too, Mars is in his fall in Cancer. That means his energy is weaker in Cancer. And specifically, it's at 28 degrees of Cancer. So if you have any planners or placement, if he gets to that point, I kind of keep an eye out for that date, or for that point as well, to see where Mars might be within orb of that planet. I actually have Chiron at that degree. But with Mars in Cancer, being that Mars is what energizes us, Mars is about our action, Mars is just like Mars is aggression sometimes, like not necessarily it has to be in like a hostile way, but Mars is the go-getter, the type like, let's get it done. Let's do this thing and do it now. And when Mars is feeling passionate about something, there's no time like the present. Why wait till tomorrow? And then why wait till tomorrow when I can have it right now? So there's this mix, and Mars will go at it with an intensity, with a ferocity, with this. There is a really, really, really beautiful side about Mars. I especially think when you get into the Aries side too, but when he's in Scorpio as well. Like I feel Mars it's at its strongest in Scorpio. So it's not that he's unfamiliar with water energy, but I think that he's used to, when in Scorpio there's a focus that's happening. He can lock on to an emotion and really hold that frequency. And in Aries, he can just go. It doesn't have to think again. Doesn't have to think too much about it. He's just going to start it up and he's going to his instincts. But in Cancer, there's a lot of fluctuation that's going on. 1 minute you're feeling this. Excuse me, and then you're feeling this way, and then you're feeling this way, and then you're feeling this way. And that's the beauty of Cancer. But when you don't work with it regularly, it can be a little maddening at times. But luckily, we have our lovely Lord, the Moon. She sets a timer for us. She lets us know, okay, where she's in this sign. How do I need to take care of myself in this way? Okay, like this is a time to see when the moon is in certain signs, look at it in relationship to, I would say, to your ascendant. So like I have a Leo rising, for example. So I know when the moon is in Scorpio, she's lighting up my ascendant because I have a lot of planets there. I got four planets plus my ascendant there. So she's like, there's a lot of activity that's going on when she's in Scorpio, and it's more squares that. And then when she's in Aquarius and when she's in Taurus. So I pay attention to those times and pay attention to what parts of those charts are lighting up for me at that time. How do I need to take care of that during that space? But working with this period of time while Mars is here over these couple, usually spends a couple of months in a sign at a time, but or how long does Mars stay in a sign? I'll have to look at that. How long he stays in a sign is escaping me at the moment, but yeah, just a time to really kind of, I think, to respect your natural rhythm. This is not a time, I feel, with Mars and Cancer to really force yourself. So just another thing I think to pay attention to, and be mindful of being reactive with Mars. Mars is very quick to do things, and Mars, like I was saying, has that scorpionic, that fixation. So be mindful of starting up things, because you may be feeling a thing 1 minute and boom, it happens, and then in another minute you're like, ooh, I actually didn't mean to do that. And it's just like, because I just happen to be feeling this type of way. And communicating what you're feeling, communicating any changes that are coming up for you can be a very constructive way of working with Mars if you're noticing a lot of fluctuations in your temperament, in your things. And journaling some stuff down, finding different activities to move the energy. This could be a great time to do some swimming, maybe, to get by some water, possibly, if that's your jam. Or if you're like me, don't really swim, maybe you're a better anchor. Then maybe you go out for a run, maybe you're going for a walk, maybe any sort of thing, but just something to keep that energy in flow, just something to help you roll with the changes. So just some things just to pay attention to while Mars is going through Cancer. Now let's get into the lunar shenanigans, because let's talk about the first influence that he'll be under, which will be on the 4th, when, depending on when you're watching this, the moon is going to enter into Libra on the 4th of September, and this will be at about 9:11 a.m. And again, that's Pacific time, and she's in a waxing crescent phase, and it's going to be pretty mild when she's going to be forming about 3 aspects at this time. Ooh, thanks, myself. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Oh, I love that for Libra. But with the moon being in Libra, I like this for, when you think about Libra is the cardinal air sign. They are the initiators of thought, the initiators of word. And if you've ever been around someone with Libra energy, there is this charm, this tact, this beauty that comes across in their words because there is that Venusian aspect. And I feel that with the moon in Libra, you can really, in the waxing crescent phase, this energy is, you have these different ideas that now may be starting to sprout a little bit from the start of this Virgo new moon. Maybe you're considering, like, you had one idea, and now oh, I could do this in this area of my chart, or this in my area of my chart, and maybe I can expand on this. Now the seeds are starting to come to life. So this can be a time where you really start the word I'm getting is just like affirming yourself, as far as like talking your future into your existence, speaking as you're already doing this. Let's say you're getting ready to start a business. Maybe you're going to start your woodworking business, but you're still working at another place. When people introduce you, just talk like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I actually work a woodworking business. I'm doing the last finishing touches on it, whatever it is. But start speaking these things into existence so that the universe will start pulling that stuff for you, because I feel like whatever Libra puts out there, they just like, you can't help sometimes but be just entranced by what they have to say. Some of my favorite conversations, and I have Libra in the third house cusp, so it's I've always found that there's this, especially I'm thinking about my time with this Libra sun, not too, like maybe about a year or so ago. I mean, teacher, and we would have these conversations. I could just listen to him talk for hours. I mean, it was just like so riveting. There's this balance of speaking and of listening with Libra. And I feel like another thing too, now that I'm saying that, pay attention to the conversations, the things that are around you. And do the things, are they speaking things that enhance you, or do they deflate you? Pay attention to that. Like, and why, how can we, not necessarily control what they say, but it's like, how can we manipulate? Let's say we have someone who tends to be in a negative spiral. How can we initiate some language in order to, that cardinal energy, how can we initiate some language that will help them raise their vibration and your vibration? Because at a certain point, because I feel like it all starts, and that's something too, I'm thinking with the moon in Libra, it all starts at home. I feel like with Libra, where you're at. One, I mean, especially just like more so just like coming home to this body here, but in your home space, how, just like, I just feel like, how's the conversations are going on there? How's that when you're, I'm even just getting like a message when you're like alone, possibly, and how that, just where you initiate your actions from. That's just another thing. And are there any sort of relationships around the home space? Like, just look into the thing that you're hearing the most. If it's your thoughts or if it's other people's thoughts. That's another thing I feel like to pay attention to while the moon is in Libra. And if your moon is in Libra, I would say one thing too, because the moon is how we nourish ourselves, how we take care of ourselves emotionally and physically, how we attend to the body. And with the moon in Libra, I would say too, pay attention to the conversations that are going on around your home space. Are they affirming, or are they bringing you down? How's that going? And again, you could live alone. And what are you telling yourself? Where do you find yourself at? How can we bring in more beauty? How can you wake up and feel like, okay, were the first thoughts when you wake up? How can we make that more like, maybe the first thing you put a plant by your nightstand. You're just like, oh, hey there, Henry. Why you named your plant Henry, I'm not sure. But I love that. I love that relationship that you're forming. But just like little things like that. When I wake up, sometimes you can't help what thoughts are coming in the first thing, but you can control the first things that are coming out your mouth. And so one thing, I know I've talked about this before, especially Libra being the cardinal air sign. Let the first thing that come out your mouth, moon in Libras, something that affirms your day and something that ends your day, so that you're always blessed. So always beautiful, balanced, and blessed. And I feel like that's you. You're there. You're doing Libra well. We're doing Libra very well. So just something I feel like to just kind of pay attention to. Pay attention to there. Communicating, writing your thoughts down, doing some maybe creative writing things, maybe even listening to. Pay attention to the music that you're listening to. Pay attention to the podcast and things that you're listening to. Just see how they maybe you've been listening to more one thing than another, something along those lines. Making sure that there is that balance there. So that's just some things that I would talk about there with this moon in Libra here. Now, last little thing here, we're going to talk about the void of course, because on Venus Day, the moon will be going void of course and that'll be the 6th of September. She'll be going void of course from 4:10 p.m. till about 10:18 p.m. So we're looking at about a 6-hour and 8-minute void of course time. And the aspect that she forms, the last aspect that she forms flavors that void of course period of time, and it's a sextile with Mercury that she's forming. And so I like this. The sextiles are when the planets are 60 degrees apart. So Mercury would still be in. Oh, did I say that Mercury was in Virgo? Mercury is definitely still in Leo. Mercury doesn't enter Virgo until the 6th. Just kidding. So there's that little bit for you. So Mercury right now is in Leo. You probably already said this, just like Justin, get it together. But with this sextile with Mercury, they bring about excitement. It's that their sextiles are Venusian in flavor. And so there is this attraction, there's this excitement that's going on there. What can you do? Mercury, how are some things that you can, how do you communicate what you want into being? And this is an active sextile. This is happening between masculine energies. And I'm talking fire and air here. We're talking Leo and Libra. So this can be, just a really great time during this void of course energy to think about, okay, have the things that I've been attracting into my life, have I been speaking into my life? Am I in love with them? Is this really what I find beautiful? Is this really what I'm enjoying, what I find pleasurable, or has something changed, or do I need to shift to a different type of view there? And then we can figure out where that shift is going and find a new focus when we move into Scorpio, and maybe find some new ways to express yourself, find some new ways to move this energy on and find a new passion. So, but the void of course time is usually just a time to just kind of take a minute and just relax. The moon doesn't have any energy right now, so just take a beat, do some deep breathing throughout this time. Maybe get to sleep a little bit early if you happen to be, depending on what time zone you're in. This could be a time to just, if you happen to be where I'm at, just getting some good sleep. This could be where if you happen to be up, maybe you happen to work overnights. This would be, I'd say, just taking some time to check where's my brain at. Okay, maybe I've been feeling a little foggy. Maybe I need a little tea to kind of wake things up. Maybe I need to go for a walk, get some fresh air to kind of wake the mind up a little bit. I'm even getting where if you have to work late, I'm getting even just like if you take like some rosemary essential oil. Rosemary can really sharpen that smell, can really wake up the mind. It's got that kind of like, ooh. So that might be something. That's just a little hit that came to my mind. So not medical advice or anything, but I love the smell of rosemary just in general. So, and that might be something too. Before you go to bed, maybe boil some rosemary just to kind of cleanse the air a little bit. That can help clear your thoughts up a little bit, help you initiate from a clearer place. That's something nice to even maybe do for yourself there. I love that. So that would be how it would work with this energy here. And actually, we can go. Oh, and if you're wanting to know, before we get into that, if you're wanting to know how these planets are working more personally in your chart, maybe you want to see, maybe not sure where Mars is, how Mars is working into Cancer, or what area it's lighting up in your chart, or if you're wanting to join my moon group that I've just started not too long ago, then Down in the description box below, I have links for both of those. The moon group will be for the new moon eclipse that's going to be happening in Libra on the 1st of October. So you can definitely sign up for that now. I have a link for that down in the description box. If you have any questions about that, I have another link that you can book a free consultation with me where I'll ask any sort of questions that you may have for me. And I think that's all I got for you there. So let's go ahead and switch over. And last little thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situation. But check this out. You got Mama Cacao here and Rhodonite. And this is a card of heart opening. It represents water and earth energy. And this is heightened sensitivity, unifying, and high on love. And I love that. let's get high on love for a minute. Because I feel like that's Libra in a nutshell. The more that you speak love into your life, the more that you're initiating, you're spoken. Every time you open your mouth, if you were just speaking from a place of love, you would just rise up to the heavens. I mean, just rise to Venus. And I feel that this is trying to open up the heart space more. When we're talking about water and earth energy here, this is very nourishing, nurturing type of energy here. This is almost giving me more of the Taurus side of Venus. And I'm picturing Venus and Taurus and the moon in Cancer with this energy. And it's seeing where there might be some heightened sensitivity. Maybe there are certain areas, and this might be brought up maybe with Mars and Cancer. Maybe you're noticing certain subjects or certain emotions or things. There are some heightened sensitivities around that. And it's just like, I wouldn't say this necessarily time to be necessarily aggressive with Mars, but so that it doesn't catch you off guard, sending it some love that way, just like exploring it, just like, hey, I'm just curious about this thing. Like I remember when I had to, just to give you an example what this might look like. I had a moment where I just moved. I just got out of my divorce. The place I was staying, I couldn't stay there anymore. And so I moved to the new space. The whole place I was staying at, they all went on a vacation. So I had the place to myself. And I had a day where I woke up and I was feeling in a really great mood. And then I just happened to get into a loop where my mom and I were having a thing. And I was playing the conversation and just trying to get more understanding of it. And I felt a lot of anger coming up. And it was an anger that it had been catching me off guard for a number of years, where I never really had an anger thing, but it was like in the last 5 years or so, like I'd noticed it'd be these real random pockets of just like in such intense anger that I wouldn't know what to do, and then I would lose it. And it's just like, it was wild. And because I couldn't find the words for it. And then one day I just gave it the space. I just like explored what that was, because I just felt myself getting angry and angry and angry. Then we were crying, and then there was a whole transformation. It was a whole process here, but there was a period of time when I was looking at myself in a very vulnerable state, and that's all I did. I gave myself a lot of love. And there was a unifying thing that happened with that emotion. It was a very nourishing, in a bit of an intense situation, but it opened my heart up in a way that I didn't expect it. And I'm thinking this cacao, there's this energizing that's happening, this Martian energy that is going on here. And even this rhodonite, I'm not familiar. I've not worked with rhodonite or looked into rhodonite, but I'm just even getting with this pink color here. There's always a love that goes on with this for me. That always brings a softer Venusian energy here that I'm getting. Empress. But I do feel, especially now with Mars having entered into Cancer, I do feel there is going to be some heightened sensitivity. And this would be a great time to learn how to unify with that, to not make these emotions your enemy, but make them your friends. Turn them into comrades. Let them so they're working with you, not against you. Because man, if you ignore them, the emotions. The emotional people I've seen are the ones who say that they're not emotional, and so you just want to get eyes on that. The more that you can gain that, sensitivity doesn't become something that you're just sensitive. You know what I mean? It's not it become, because I'm not sure when that's how it became an insult. But to be sensitive can be a gift. It makes you intuitive. It makes you just more. Brings an awareness. But there's the awareness part that's needing to happen here. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details. And I really am getting to just the one thing, like I really want to pay attention to when I was telling that story, is you having the safe space to do that too. Creating the thing, whether you need to get a punching. Listen, I'm a big fan. If I don't got a punching bag nearby, just punch it in your bed. Just go until you're tired. You can tire yourself out really fast. just punch it. And then when you're tired and like that's out, then you're like, okay, now what the hell was that? what the F happened? Right, we can reflect on the past. Okay, hold on. Thanks to myself. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so you have the Daughter of Sticks, the Three of Knives, the Ten of Sticks, and the Six of Baskets here. That's heavy. This here, the Ten of Baskets is a heavy burden. This is feeling restricted. This is feeling like it's just like you have all this energy, but it can't move. It's and the Three of Knives is giving me this, because the Three of Knives is a tougher one. This can be a card of melancholy. This can be where you're getting in your thoughts. But the thing with the Three of Knives is this is Saturn in Libra, and Saturn is exalted in Libra. Interestingly enough, a sign that Venus is lord over. So there is this. I think when Saturn is in Libra, it's a reminder that we need to be fair when it comes with Saturn. Saturn doesn't, and even with these melancholic, these depressing sort of times, these harder times, it's like they're not going to be forever. It's once they've happened, a situation's usually done. It's the emotional attachment that happens afterwards. That the Six of Baskets here, that makes something heavy. You know what I mean? Because the Six of Baskets can be caught on something here. And the Daughter of Sticks is she wants to move, but I feel that she's missing the birds are going this way, and I feel like she's missing the signs, and it's like she's going the opposite way of where the birds are going. It's something here like we keep looking back here, but the birds are looking like they're usually, when you see like a flock, I feel like they're flying away from, like, not necessarily like you're in danger, but like more so when they sense something is off. And I feel like it's just something with this Three of Knives. I'm getting like a situation where maybe you had a fight with someone, maybe there was an injustice in the moment. I'm not quite sure, but I feel like, let me get some more on this Three of Knives here, because I feel like it's like we're dragging along something. I'll tell you what. I remember my mom said something to me very, very interesting, and I understood where she was coming from, but I always found it very, very fascinating. When we were talking about regret, and she was talking about it in a way like almost like she deserved to carry the regret. And I think that regret can be it's like all experiences is meant to be a teacher, but I don't think that it's meant to be a weight. It's not something that you're just meant to take up the majority of this life forever. Learn from it. Not just relive it. You know, like that's what I'm getting with that. But let me get some more on it. Yeah. So the Three of Knives is clarified by the Nine of Sticks and the Two of Coins here. And I feel like this Two of Coins is trying to balance this past, this future, all in one. And it's just like we're too caught up in the past, and we're missing the future that's coming. This wave that's coming. There's a lot going on that I'm getting from this Two of Coins for me. A lot that we're manifesting right now, and I just think it's because we're I'm not, it's like again this weight from this past, this hurt that may have happened here with the Three of Knives. I feel like it's weighing down the energy with the Nine of Sticks. I mean, 9, 10 of sticks. I mean, come on. We're really kind of at a could be at a pivotal point here. So it could be just a time to just bring some love into a situation. Show yourself some grace. You know, we've made mistakes. Maybe this was you that did something. Another person may have did something. We all make mistakes, and all we can do is hope that they grow, send them love and light, and keep it moving. And I know how hard that can be, especially if you feel like. But that's something that I've started to do. It don't matter what's going on. I'm just like, and what I mean by that is, I'm not going to let anybody just treat me any old way, but I'm also not going to let them have power over me by holding on to something. Like maybe it's something that someone said to me, you know, maybe they were feeling, because I don't know what people are going through in life, you know. And again, it's not to excuse, but it is to know that after a situation's done, it's just something about him getting something, it's done. And there's an acceptance that comes, I think, with this Six of Cups, that what's the narrative that you've been sharing with others? Because I see that. I remember talking with this one person, Capricorn. They had a lot of Scorpio placements, and when you get fixated on something like that, you get a thought and then you get locked on to it. I mean, it's hard with fixed energy to break that, but it's this narrative that can be very. You gotta pay attention what you can attract when you're staying in that past energy. But it's like releasing that, letting that not be a burden. I feel like anymore with the Ten of Sticks, and the Daughter Sticks is ready to kind of burn that energy off. I almost feel like these next few, like maybe week, going from Libra to Scorpio to Sag, potentially. We'll see how the next reading goes, but you know, this could be an invitation. If this is something you're feeling, it's like, you know what? Let this cardinal air moon be like, you know what? I'm going to change this narrative now. I'm ready to move to a different chapter, different book, maybe even. So let's get some more on this. Oh, okay. Interesting. Thanks, Divine Self. So 9 of Sticks we're really sticking to it. You got the 8 of Sticks, the 9 of Sticks, and you got Big Mama here, the Sun. And with the Sun, I mean, this is love. The Sun is considered the happiest, the brightest card in the deck. So now I feel like it's a time to energize, especially if you've been feeling in a rut. If you've been feeling down with this Three of Knives here, the 8 of Sticks is wanting to get the energy moving. The 9 of Sticks is even wanting to. It's giving me this healing energy. I'm looking at these skulls behind her here. These are the support of her ancestors from behind her, and I feel like this could be even, I'm getting like various versions of you. You know, just learning from these situations, these parts of you that have died, that have grown, who've learned to. I mean, she's a little aggressive here. She's just, this 9 of Sticks is pretty hardcore, but I feel with this. Now that I'm even kind of looking at her a little bit, her face is even giving me this jaded energy. And I'm getting almost like even like and expecting more for yourself. That's fascinating. Let me get a little bit more into that. Let's since this Nine of Sticks wants to come out, because maybe even with that Eight of Sticks, it's like something's ready to move. It's like we're ready, because all of these are Sag's minor kind of cards here. This is the Moon in Sag, that's Mercury in Sag, and that's Saturn in Sag. And so there's something here I feel that's wanting to turn, and Sag is great at that, turning misfortune into fortune. I feel like that's And let me get a little bit on this Nine of Sticks here, find out what that's about. Thanks, Nine Self. Wow, there's a lot of heat here, and they're all going in order. The Nine of Sticks is clarified by the Seven of Sticks, and so I'm getting a strong need to protect your energy, especially if you find yourself, I'm thinking these sticks. This could be just as simple as just like invasive thoughts coming through that like spur the energy, that just get you thinking like, whatever that narrative may be looking like here. Or maybe someone said something to you, where it's just like, that may have hurt you, that may have left you feeling like that you just like this figure here, just shanked under the tree. But this gives me a no more. He's got this crocodile mask on his head here, and I feel like this is you coming into like, now this is not how I want to spend my energies anymore. I'm coming revitalized. I'm coming at life. Maybe I'm coming a little aggressive at first, but I'm coming back. I'm making a comeback here, and because you want love. Yeah, that's interesting, because it's like you value the love for yourself. That's what I'm getting with that. Interesting. But Big Mama, the Sun, especially if you feel like you don't deserve happiness or this love, or you absolutely do. You absolutely do. And it's reminding yourself that over and over again, little practices, whatever that looks like, just whether you put a little Post-it note up or just doing something. If you're having troubles finding love in your life, then put more love out there. Do some things that you love to invoke that feeling, that more so to attract more of that. I'm even thinking, let's say, for example, if you're in a job that you don't like, this could be where, instead of like, oh, I hate this job, it's like, man, I love that this job is going to provide me the platform to get into my next position here. This is holding me over, helping me to pay my bills so that I can get ready for this next interview to do such and such. Speaking more, that's something too. I feel like a lot of times we can focus on what we don't like, but let's focus more on what we do like so that we can attract more of that too. Let's get some advice from Venus. Oh, wow. Oh, I love this. This is fantastic because you have the Rose card here, which is a card of love. And this card is associated by the Moon and Venus, who are snuggled up in Libra right now. Let's switch back over. Come on. So we spent this whole time talking about love, speaking more love into your world. Maybe I'm getting even wearing pink. Pink may not be your jam, but maybe just wearing some pink. Maybe even I'm getting even red too. something attractive, something bold, something to And that's interesting. I'm looking at this card here. There's these blood drops that are happening in this card. And there's going to be there are going to be experiences that I feel hurt, but what I like to think is, like, I'm just thinking in a basic term, just like with love, for example. Let's say you got in a breakup and it was a whole thing. Where those do stink. They are also a beautiful thing too, because it shows you that in there, because there was a time there was like some real love that was going on there, and I think when you think about that, like the love that you can feel for someone outside of yourself and how someone can feel for you, I think it's really nice. But I think it also reminds us too. I remember I have a lot of, again, like I say, I have a lot of Leo. And I remember being so fixated on a person for the longest. I had the world's longest crush on someone. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. How they put up with me, I have no idea. Well, I mean, I'm amazing. But, but I found that after the fact, and what was a very empowering thing for me was that I took all of that feeling that I felt on all the years of love that I felt for that person, and I put that all back here because it did show me that, wow, I did love them a lot. So I can love myself that in like 100 times more than that. Like, because I'm my first greatest love. and and I feel like when you give yourself that more love, then you attract more people that love. You know what I mean? It just becomes this Venus. We're attracting this energy here. Love is in the air. It smells of roses and it's beautiful. And I'm even just looking here at this dove. This is just magnificent here. Like, something's really beautiful about this. There's a piece that's coming, knowing that, and knowing too. Let's get a little bigger, because it's the 12th card here. That's the Hanged Man's Neptune energy. I'm just thinking about divine love too. That love for that, knowing that there's always a part of you, that all-knowing part of you that will always love you, regardless of what you may think is right or wrong, is perfect in their eyes. And there's some, every time I kind of think about that, that makes me kind of cry a little bit. But it's like, to know that there is that kind of love that's out there and that it's available to you all the time is a beautiful thing too. So I invite some of that into your heart space. Let that open your heart up. I think could be something that can be very beautiful and be very unifying. And yeah, maybe, I mean, look at Big Mama. Her crown chakra just lit up. So, all right, but I think I'm going to leave that there. How fascinating. I love when the, because I tell you what, there are coincidences. It's a cute word. it's a cute word, but come on. I mean, this love stuff, I mean, I do pre-shuffles beforehand. The synchronicities are getting stronger, Soul Tribe. Manifestation's getting stronger. So bring more love, operate from a bigger heart space. You operate from love, you're unstoppable. You are unstoppable. That's why Scorpio's so strong. We're going to talk about that more. I love that we're taking this love into Scorpio, because that's how you work with it. Thanks, Libra. But if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know someone who would benefit from this. I think we could all benefit from a little bit of love. Do some things for your heart chakra. Give yourself a hug. I love it. I'm giving you a hug. And subscribe there. Subscribe, Big Mama. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And then last little bit, if you're wanting to look at any, or want to know what's going on in the outside of what the lunar shenanigans, want to see what the other planets are doing, how Mars is affecting such and blah blah blah, come on over to, because I use very, very technical terms like that. Come on over to Alchemist 8. That's my other channel. And I do that. And I also do videos of, I've been releasing these videos of planets in different houses and different signs and kind of combining those energies. So if that's something you care about, I create playlists for them all so you can find your signs and your stuffs, and I got you. And all those housekeepings is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. But yeah, this is a time to trust the messages. You know, there's some times here, especially kind of here lately, where I'm noticing there's a shift, and I'm not like I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. But there are just sometimes I'm like, you know what, just roll with it. Just roll with it. It's gonna make sense for somebody. All right, but yeah, there's a shift that's going on in the ether, and it's palpable. Thanks, Divine Self. Yeah, absolutely. So you have the transformation and change card here. And you know what? This is what I feel what happens when you do bring more love into your life. It's not to say that storms aren't coming, but you move through them with more grace. You're moving with them with love. This is happening for me, not to me. This is making sense in a divine line, in divine design. Like you just know. I feel like it's like when you set the intention, just the body knows what to do. You know, you get the signs. Show up each day. Do this thing. Get into this ritual. Talk to this person. Look up this source. It's a very gradual shift, too, but there's something here about holding that duality too. That you can find love. You can find love you can find love in the darkest of times, and you can find love in the brightest of times. But love exists always. You know, the experiences change. They transform you. They change you. But love will empower you. It'll empower you, and it's just like I'm just looking at how this person's just covered in this. There's this understanding. There's this knowing. It's like they're covered in this love in a sense. But I'm just getting it. You're protected through these changes, and just with that Six of Baskets, what has happened in the past does not define you. It's meant to empower you and help others. I feel too. I'm not like I'm getting. It's like you weren't given a burden just for it to be heavy. You know, you weren't just this life. What you were given, you weren't just here to just come suffer. You know. I mean, last thoughts. I have. Like I like to say, I have the sun in by traditional astrology is the worst house. It's in the 12th house, but that's my sunlight. That's my spirit. You know, and it's where I've experienced misfortune and like suffering and isolation and whatnots, that looks differently for everybody, but I've learned through that. It's not something where I'm doomed to, because we all go through 12th house things. It's just that it's something that I think about a lot, and how we get through that, and how do we keep that going, knowing all of that. I think about it all the time, but I counter it with love. That's a big answer for me. You know, when that's what changed me from being caught up in the storm to being more kind of caught up in the light. You know, and I'm not. You know, I'm still growing. It's like it's still always refining, always expanding, always be a bit better, always can find a better, you know, a higher place to speak from, but it's knowing that, and there's no pressure behind that. It's not like a hurry up. It's more of a like, oh wow, look at me elevating. Look at me. Okay, yeah, yesterday I was like, oh blah blah blah, but now here I introduce more love. And I really do believe you put more love out there. Every person I meet, it's almost gotten. I've noticed the more that I'm doing it now, it is becoming more of a habit where I look at a person. The first thought is I salute the divinity in you. I salute the divinity in you. I salute the divinity in you. And I just the more that I'm doing that, I'm honoring the light in myself too. You know, everyone's winning in this, and just the more I'm putting out that light, but that's just some things to think about. But until next time, stay mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. Seize the day and the night. And I will catch you on the next one. Venus Day. Speaking of love.